Hello everyone, and welcome to another exciting edition of Now, since the new Upper Deck Series 1 came out, and to be honest, I'm really not very interested in that product, I decided today to go back a few years back in time to 2006-2007 with a hobby box of Upper Deck Series 1 hockey. The price I got the box for is identical to the price of a hobby box of the current product, but in this one at least you have a lot more established presence and it's a lot safer of a gamble, I feel. Of course, the boxes of these are always highlighted by the Young Guns rookies. Some of your main highlights within Upper Deck Series 1 from that year include, but are not limited to, Kris Letang, Anze Kopitar, Phil Kessel, everyone loves Phil Kessel, Jordan Staal, and Dustin Byfuglien. And then there's also a decent supporting cast among them as well. Maybe not as good as the top names, but yeah, definitely a lot of names that last in the NHL can be found in Series 1, and it's not all just carried by Malkin like Series 2 is pretty much. Before we start the video, however, don't forget to like the video, share it if you feel like it, and subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. I know you'll have a great time with us. And answer our viewer engagement question for today. Other than hockey, do you collect any other sports? And if not sports, do you collect anything that's maybe not a hockey card or sport card related? Throw it in the comments down below. I want to hear your answers. Alright, my friends, you know what I'm about to say next? Let's get ready for box breaking. Alright. Okay, so like usual, we're going to start with our left stack first, and then hope for some good cards. Okay. Okay, we have Alexei Kovalev, Ryan Sutter, Colby Armstrong. We have an insert NHL award winners, Alexander Ovechkin, 0506 Calder Trophy winner. This is a second year Ovechkin card, very nice. Todd White, Tim Thomas, Henrik Sedin, and Marty Turco. Okay, next up we have Patrick Eves, Pierre-Marc Bouchard, Sami Kapanen, Pavel Datsyuk, filler card, Mr. Game 7, Justin Williams, Ryan Miller, Andre Mesaros, Dustin Brown, and another filler. Okay, we have Sean Burke, Jason Blake, Curtis Sanford. We have a Young Guns rookie of Michel Ouellette. Fortunately, not one of the better ones for sure. Jay Bouwmeester, Brian Rafalski, John Michael Lyles, and Darius Kasparaitis. One of the best names ever in NHL history. And the nice thing about Young Guns, you're not just having one per box, you got 6, you got at least 5 mulligans, and hopefully you get one good one at the end. Got Marian Gaborik, Fernando Pisani, Cam Ward, Matthias Oland, Mike Commodore, Dallas Drake, Ryan Craig, and Ray Whitney. Few annoyances just when base cards, some are horizontal, some are vertical. Just, you know, I don't know why. Just keep it one way or the other. Okay, we have Jaromir Jagr, Alexander Frolov, Steve Ott. We have Hometown Heroes insert of Patrice Bergeron. Still active in the NHL today, though very likely to retire fairly soon now. Chris Draper. Something stuck. Okay. John Madden. Robert Esch. And Marian Hossa. Okay, we have Mike Richards. Marco Sturm. Alexander Semin. Pascal Leclerc, only goalie in NHL history to have the same birthday as me. Rostislav Oles. Jason Spezza. David Legwand. And Nikolai Habibulin. Francois Beauchemin. Henrik Talander. All over the place. Kevin Weeks. We have Hometown Heroes insert of Jonathan Chichu, who's at this point 1 year removed from winning the Maurice Rocket Richard Trophy for most goals in a season. Or in the previous season, rather. Alex Hemsky. Ryan Whitney. Yuri Lettinen. And Chris Drury. Okay, next up we have Saku Koivu. George Peros. Jerome McGinley. Tomasz Vokun. Alexander Steen. Cristobal Ue. Kimmo Timonen and Peter Pruka. Okay, next up, Ryan Holweg. Keith Kachuk. Nicholas Havlid. We have Young Guns rookie Frank Doyle. Goalie who was recalled by the Devils, but unfortunately never actually got into NHL action outside of preseason and training camp action. So, definitely not one of the good ones. Again, Barrett Jackman. Andrew Brunette. Miroslav Shatan. And Chris Osgood. Hashtag Osgood for the Hall of Fame. Derek Bugard. Rest in peace. Dan Boyle. Marcus Naslund. Peter Chayanek. Milan Michalek. Sammy Salo. All over the place. Bobby Holik. And Christian Ehrhoff. Kidoki, next up, Matt Cook. Ilya Brizgalov. It's only game. Why you have to be mad. Mike Ricci. Shootout artists insert of Yaroslav Balastik. Michael Samuelson. Wes Walls. Chris Phillips. And Chris Campoli. Marcel Gauche. Robin Regier. Chuck Kobasu. Rick DiPietro. Dion Phaneuf. Brooks Leish. Daniel Sedin. And Dwayne Rollison. Rolly the goalie. Who knows how that Stanley Cup final from 06 might have turned out had Dwayne Rollison not been injured in Game 1. Ethan Morrow. Peter Forsberg. Brian Campbell. We have the Young Guns of Brendan Bell. Womp womp. Another not so good one. Brian Berard. Second year Sid the Kid, Sidney Crosby base card. Paul Ranger and Lubomir Vyzhnovsky. Okay, Tomas Holmstrom. Renee Bork. Jeff Tambellini, Marek Zedlichki, Steve Bernier, RJ Umberger, Alexander Perezhogin, and Jarrett Stoll. Matthew Guerin, Michael Telquist, Corey Stillman, shootout artists, Slava Kozlov of the Atlanta Thrashers, Adam Foote, Steve Sullivan, Ladislav Noj, and Milan Hajduk. Sergei Gonchar, Slava Kozlov, Keith Ballard, and we have an Upper Deck exclusives of Cam Ward, numbered 73 of 100. Cam Ward. Nice card. I always love that little extra sheen they give it. High gloss is even nicer, but still. Very cool. Very nice card. I always like Cam Ward. Tomas Kaberle, Brian Gionta, Chris Higgins, and Rick Nash. Alright, next up we have Sergei Fedorov, Joe Sakic, Jason Williams. We have Young Guns rookie of Matt Carl. At least he's a more familiar name. Definitely better than the last three we had, but still, definitely not anywhere near that top tier there. Next up we have Sid the Kid Crosby, the checklist, also from his second year. Joe Thornton, Vaclav Prospel, Daniel Alfredson, Garnet Exelby, Ruslan Fedotenko, Nick Antropov. Looks like we have the jersey behind that. Let's get that to the back then. Perfect. Mike Camilleri, Jamie Lundmark, Patrick Sharp, Jim Slater, and okay, better name, Jerome Iginla, Upper Deck game jersey. Definitely worse names to get than Jerome Iginla after all. Very, very nice. Glenn Murray, Pierre Turgeon, Andrei Markov, Young Guns of Eric Wrights, also not a very good one, Sandis Ozolinch, Hanu Toivonen, Shane Doan, and Corey Perry. Okay, we have Martin Straka, Andy McDonald, Brendan Morrow, Alexander Picard, Oleg Shaprikin, Alexei Zhitnik, Philippe Boucher, and Jochen Hecht. Alright, next up we have Nathan Horton, Ray Emery, Razor, Robert Lang, have an insert, statistical leaders of Mika Kiprusoff, Jussi Jokinen, Christian Huselius, Brian McCabe, and Jordan Tutu. Matthew Dandino, Antoine Vermette, David Lenaru, Glenn Wesley, Joni Pitkinen, Brad Boys, Lee Stempniak, and Mats Sundin. Alright, next up we have Joe Nieuwendyk, Thomas Vanek, Ryan Malone, Young Guns rookie of Masi Merjämäki. Oy oy oy. Some really rough ones in this one, my goodness. Teemu Selanne, Raffi Torres, Stephen Weiss, and Radim Verbata. And the final pack. Okay, Martin St. Louis, Mike Newble, Duncan Keith, Upper Deck game jersey of Marc Savard. Actually pretty cool over here. It's actually some pretty decent game wear, general game filth on it. Back when they obviously used game worn memorabilia in it, so okay. Card itself meh, but the game wear on the swatch is pretty cool. Okay. Nick Schultz, Eric Staal, Chris Clark, and Derek Waugh. Alright, so let's do a quick recap of the break, and then we'll have Urbe render final judgment, and we'll do our comment shout-out portion of the video. Alright.
A few moments later.
Okay, so in the world of Upper Deck Young Guns, we got Masi Merjämäki, Eric Reitz, Brendan Bell, Frank Doyle, Michel Ouellette, and Matt Carl. Yeah, Matt Carl being the best of them. Alright, then we also got award winners, second year insert of Alex Ovechkin, we got an exclusives parallel of Cam Ward, and then we got game jerseys of Marc Savard and Jerome Iginla, with the Savard having nice game wear on it. With all that in mind, Urbe, what do you think? No, this was a pretty bad box. I'm glad I paid only as much as a current box of Upper Deck Series 1 costs, because this would have killed me if I would have had to pay $300 for it. The Young Guns were a disaster. Jerseys were nice, but yeah, no. Alright. But hey, that's how it goes sometimes, you know. We had some decent breaks recently, especially that Bowman's Best, so sometimes we gotta crash back down to earth. But you know what time it is now. It is comment shout-out time. That's right, it's comment shout-out time. Let's take a look at our last video. So in our previous video, our viewer engagement question was, what is the best birthday gift you've ever gotten? And one of the comments I rather liked, and is going to be today's comment shout-out winner, that's from Ian Rowlett, who says, one of the best birthday gifts I ever got was one of my friends drove down from northern Alberta just to surprise me on my birthday. Unfortunately, they couldn't stay long. I really like the answer because sometimes the best gifts aren't a tangible item, they aren't material, but just the presence of someone you care about and who makes your day a little bit better. Till next time, my friends, I had a lot of fun despite the results. Have all of yourselves an excellent day. Bye-bye.